In this video, I'm going to teach you what you need to know to do unit conversion, and there'll be an example that we kind of work through, and then in a separate video I'll show you a couple of additional examples. And this is fairly straightforward, and there's not even really a whole lot of moving parts. Look at my little diagram here. On the left, I have all of the non-metric, the word that we use is imperial, units of measure, inches, feet, yards, and miles, and I have stacked them in order from the smallest size, inches, to the largest size, miles. And then I put these little arrows in here which tell me that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, and 3 feet in 1 yard, and 1,760 yards in 1 mile. That is information that I provide to you. You don't have to memorize any of that. Over here on the right is metric, and I've done the same thing. The smallest unit is millimeters, the largest is kilometers. It takes 10 millimeters to equal 1 centimeter, 100 centimeters to equal 1 meter, and 1,000 meters to equal 1 kilometer. This here on the right, you do have to remember. That's gracious, times 10 times 100 times 1,000. That should be rememberable. And now, there's one other thing. Sometimes I'm given a measurement that is in imperial, and I'm asked to convert it to a measurement that's metric. Or I'm start with metric, and I'm asked to convert it to imperial. Well, there's only one place to get between the two systems. There are other places. I could make you memorize a whole lot more conversions, but I'd rather you learn the process than just start memorizing stuff. And here's the process. The one place to get between imperial measurements and metric measurements is right here. It's where inches and centimeters meet. If I look at a meter stick and I look at exactly 1 inch, and I flip it over the other side to see how many centimeters, it would be this. It would be times 2.54. There's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. So that's really all there is to understanding the concept. Oh, let me say that you have to memorize the box on the right. You also have to memorize this 2.54. All of these on the left I will give you. Let me explain how you do a unit conversion. By doing a unit conversion, we'll start with an easy one. 100 yards is a football field. I would be curious what that is in meters. So I'm going to start at 100 yards. Let me draw a little box around that just to make it a little more obvious where we're starting. There's a kind of greenish, bluish, depending on your screen color box. And my destination is right here, kind of a reddish box. So I'm going to start with yards and end up with meters. Well, there's only one way to get there. I have to convert from yards to feet, and then from feet to inches, from inches to centimeters, and centimeters to meters. I see students all the time just throw these random conversions in. There is exactly one way to get from where you started, yards, to where you want to end up, meters. And it is this path that leads you from yards to feet to inches to centimeters and then to meters. Now, let me set this up and step you through how it works. So, I write down 100 yards, and the first thing I need to do is convert it from yards to feet. Well, I don't think anyone will have an issue if I represent 100 yards like this, 100 yards over 1. It just makes the telling of this story a little more convenient. Now, you'll notice I highlighted yards. It's in the numerator. That's the first unit that has to go away. I have to make it go away and replace it with feet. Well, to do that, I'm going to need a fraction, and not just any fraction, a fraction that does something particular. A fraction that has the units of yards in the denominator. The reason I need that is because later I'm going to cancel out anything I see in the top and the bottom, and if I set it up this way, yards will cancel in the numerator with yards in the denominator. So the way I pick these two units is whatever was here in the numerator went to the denominator, and then I picked the units on the numerator by what my destination was. I started at yards and I'm headed towards feet. Now the only thing left is to stick some numbers in front of these units so that the thing in parentheses is equal to 1. And indeed, 3 feet over 1 yard is equal to 1. Now, if at this point I stopped, my units of yards would cancel with my units of yards down in the denominator, and I would have 100 times 3 feet, 300 feet, which we all know that's 100 yards, so far so good. But the question said, no, don't stop at feet, go to inches, and then centimeters, and then meters. So I have to add another fraction out here, just like I did with the last one. Whatever the unit up here was, that becomes the unit down here. The unit upstairs in the last fraction is whatever the next size down measurement is. So from feet, I'm headed to inches, and then I fill in numbers that will make the fraction equal to 1. 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. All right, before I reveal the next one, let's see what it's going to be. I'm now at inches. I got to go from inches to centimeters. So it's going to have inches in the denominator and centimeters in the numerator. And it does. And then I fill in the numbers, which I've already have pre-filled here. It takes 2.54 centimeters to equal 1 inch, just like is indicated, over here. Well, we're almost there. There's one more conversion. We're at centimeters. We have to go to meters. So there is the fraction that gives us meters. Now, that's a pretty long and involved fraction, but we can do a lot of cleanup work, and I'm going to take a few extra steps on this video that I might not do in real life. First thing I did was I took all my numerators and multiplied them together, all my denominators and multiplied them together, and I just wrote them down. And now in the next step, I'm going to rearrange these. This is not necessary, but I'm doing it to make a point so that you students will see. You'll see here I first collected all the numbers I had. There's 100, there's 3, there's 12, there's 2.54, and there's 1. And down in the denominator, a 1 times a 1 times a 1 times 100. Right there. But then I collected in my numerator all the units I had. Yards, feet, inches, centimeters, meters. Yards, feet, inches, centimeters, meters. And in the denominator, yards, feet, inches, and centimeters. Yards, feet, inches, and centimeters. Now, pause the video if you need to, but kind of stare at that last formula, and you'll realize that I've got things in the numerator that are copied in the denominator. And because of that, I can get rid of them. So I can cancel this unit of yards with this unit of yards. And the units of feet and feet, the units of inches and inches, the units of centimeters and centimeters. So the only unit I have left is meters, and the only numbers I have left are all the original numbers. Okay, now your job is to calculate out these numbers. Well, I'm actually going to cheat because I see that while I was busy getting rid of things, that 100 would cancel with that 100. All I have, these ones are superfluous, so all I got to do is multiply these numbers together and I will get the answer. Turns out the answer is 91.44 meters. 100 yards is equal to 91.44 meters. Okay, they are all that simple. I could do a few more unit conversions, but what I'm going to do is break the video here, and in a separate video I will show you not only a couple of examples of this, but several examples of different, more complicated things. Now, let me encourage you to copy this down or take a picture and put it on your phone, but somehow get this so that you can have it later. You might actually want to get it way back at the first of this video where it didn't have all this junk on it. Stand by. Through the magic of editing, there it is without all the junk on it. Now your page is really clean. Take a screenshot of that and keep it until you have it all stuffed up inside your head.